What's going on, Jerome's? So before I forget, this battle axe is badass, and so it was relayed to my in-laws, and I was going to write an extensive thank you letter to the person who got it, but the information on the box was confiscated because Margaret likes to decorate and turn every single cardboard box in this house into an apartment for Legos. So it's great. But so I did not find the return address information. So just want to give an awesome special shout out. This thing is great. This thing could be sharpened to a razor's edge. This thing has to stay in the gun safe because otherwise the middle child will find it and just like head into battle with it. But again, thank you very much. This is awesome. Like, all right, so we will bust this out of the safe after victories and do something with it. I don't know. Eat a steak with it. It'd be really good. Anyways, also good. It's weird. So the guy behind this whole meme thing is named Ashton Hall, and he was a backup running back at Alcorn State, alma mater of Steve McNair, rest in power. And it's weird that the most talked former college running back named Ashton is not Ashton Genty this week. It's kind of crazy. But, hey, look out, league, because Will Rackard is dialed the F in. Soaking his face in Saratoga spring water, which, so, a lot of people thought that that's like an obscure water brand. It's really not. I mean, it's like $2.50 for a bottle. They're the title sponsor for Top Chef, so I guess they're pretty mainstream. I don't know, but getting some Saratoga and some bananas. That's how we're rolling. Also how we're rolling. So we are, like we said, we always respect your time. And, if we were less scrupulous, we could do 17,000 videos about Aaron Rodgers every single day. And it would probably get clicks, but also I would be selling my soul. Can't sell what you don't have. But, again, we're respecting your time. We're not going to be bringing up every single blah, 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 but it's funny because Steelers fans want a decision too. Like they are restless. They feel like they're being used. They feel like everything. And frankly, I think the Steelers should just move on. Actually, no. Please sign him. So then we don't have this entire summer of like, J.J. McCarthy threw an incomplete pass at training camp. Is it Rodgers time? Nah. Screw that. Screw your mom. Screw everything. Also, people don't want to admit it. If Rodgers joined the Vikings in an open competition with J.J. McCarthy, McCarthy would win. Just is what it is. Oh, but he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, and, okay. Yeah. Also, this is good. So Paul Allen, PA on the mic, 9 to noon. Notice I'm catching many a Rube-related stray with all the quarterback-related stuff from the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago today, I said on KFan, Aaron Rodgers will not be the quarterback here, and J.J. McCarthy will. Fire all you want, but the early bird got the worm, and it was good. Well, all right, so PA is taking a victory lap here. Mainly people were upset with the way that he and Alec Lewis of the Athletic got into it, talking about the whole Rodgers thing. So, Alec Lewis, part of the Athletic cadre, like they really leaned into Rodgers to the Vikings, right? So they took a chance and they went for it, right? And the whole thing about it is, as we said from the jump, were there conversations? Yeah. I mean, Kevin McConnell, Aaron Rodgers had a relationship, and there was conversations, just like there was about every single quarterback. Now, level of interest. In reality, it's probably down here. Athletic was hyping it up here. 50-50, seriously considered. There's a big leap between all of that, right? And PA is, very dialed in that building, obviously. And, yeah, I mean, it's JJ's show. And Kwesi came out and people ignored everything Kwesi said about J.J. McCarthy. He's done everything that we want him to. Ideally, he's going to be our quarterback one, building the roster around a young quarterback. Everyone just ignored that. And just asked 17,000 Rodgers questions. Oh, well, even PA didn't have a good question on it, too. But, PA was right. Now, should he have gone as hard in the paint on Alec Lewis as he did? No. And also, a lot of, people, a lot of rubes are saying, it's like, well, you were proven wrong about it. Like, no, conversations happen, right? And also, the Athletics be like, a lot of conversations. No. Again, it's all ridiculous, and it's just, it really shows how irrelevant sports are. I get it. Like we're here on a sports channel, talking all this junk, but a lot of people's feelings got hurt in this, and it's not that serious, man. Like He probably wasn't coming here. Did they discuss it? Sure. But level of interest? No. No. But it would be one thing. And a lot of people compare it to like '09 with Brett Favre. Well, the quarterbacks then were Sage Rosenfels and T-Jack. Rest in power. It's not like he had a top 10 drafted quarterback of the future who's revved up, ready to go. No, ain't all that. Oh, speaking of revved up, ready to actually, well, one more thing. Unrelated. So Diana Orsini, The Athletic. I feel like it's getting more momentum in terms of those opposed to it than I've heard before in terms of banning the tush push as I burp. So what this means, Diana Orsini reporting that teams are getting ready to ban the tush push. The tush push not only will stay legal, but it will be mandatory at least 17 times a game. Doesn't matter where you are. 3rd and 10, tush push. That's it. That's it. Also, speaking of J.J. McCarthy, so J.J. McCarthy's fantastic because even though he's busy, he's focused on playing golf, hitting eagle putts like no one's business, 250 to 270 off the tee box, no sweat. He still takes time for the fans. I love that about J.J. McCarthy. He just got it. Also, he's got that hockey hair back. It's good to see. I love it. Speaking of hat and hair, so new era, and the NFL just released the draft hats for 2025. Now, draft hats are always kind of cool because they're also an historical marker because as players get drafted, if you look back on their careers, good or bad, you go back to that draft night and you look at the hat, right? And this time around, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So I know that they got the laurels on there. I feel like this could have been like some sort of Nordic rune. But also, I think that they're all laurels, something like that. But, basic across the front, Vikings, Minnesota, underneath, straight font, the logo, all that stuff, black and purple. But also, the cool thing about it is the extra pin on the hat this time around. A Vikings helmet representing the team. Vikings helmets can be seen worn by fans on game day. Everything is just written by AI now, right? I don't know. But going down the whole rabbit hole of like, well, historically Vikings didn't have horns on the helmets. That was an artistic representation or blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. It's kind of funny to me. But I mean, the pin, actually, you know what the pin should have been? Battle axe. Either way, I think the hat looks good. But also I have low standards. I know people have a lot of hot takes about things, but I think it's fine. I think it's cool. But also, hey, if you're just adding random stuff to hats, like we are a brim bottle cap opener away from this being the best Father's Day present ever. So just go do that up. Pin. Next. So Derek Brown, well-respected fantasy football writer. When someone asked me who could be this year's Bucky Irving, so mid-late round running back who really comes in and busts things up. Oh, by the way, Bucky Irving, gopher. Nailed it. Talented running back that falls to round 4. Tackle-breaking metric darling. Also a pass game weapon. My answer is R.J. Harvey. Now, Vikings, given their lack of draft capital, as well as picking up Jordan Mason as well as Aaron Jones, may not be as hard in the paint at running back, but I love R.J. Harvey. Like I think that R.J. Harvey, Devin Neal, DJ Giddens, probably are some of the more under the radar. Rocket Sanders from South Carolina, under the radar running backs, and R.J. Harvey, like he's low cut, like he's 5'8", 209. Single cut and go type runner. Last year, 1,577 rushing yards, 22 rushing touchdowns, 6.5 yards per carry for his college career, which is good. Also, can contribute in the passing game. I think R.J. Harvey is going to be a steal. I think that eventually he will be an RB1 on the team. And frankly, if the Vikings maneuver around, get some extra picks, they pick up R.J. Harvey in the mid rounds, I would not be upset. Because, Jones, even though he's on a 2-year deal, turns 31 in December. And I think R.J. Harvey and Jordan Mason would be a hell of a 1-2 combination. Kind of love it, man. It's fantastic. Also fantastic. So Pro Football Focus put out a piece about day one options and day 3 options at positions of need for all 32 teams. Vikings, still interior defender, because even though they got Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, a little bit older, a little bit longer in the tooth, but the Vikings still should and could partake of this great defensive line class. Day 1 option, Derek Harmon. Day 3 option, Deion Walker. Now, I feel like Walker's stock has dropped quite a bit since the Combine, but just given his size and versatility as well as just potential, like he's still going to be very appealing to teams. This is what PFF wrote. Hammond is a well-rounded defensive tackle, a prospect who earned an 80.5 run defense grade and an 86.3 pass rush grade in 2024. Also led the nation in pass rush efficiency, and he's just a monster. And I think that he could be your set it and forget it Cameron Hayward 5-tech for a decade plus. I think he's legitimately that good. Deion Walker is a complete wild card, man. You have no idea what's going to happen. Walker, measuring 6'7" and 331, is a massive space eater capable of anchoring the interior and clogging run lanes effectively. It may sound weird, but skill set wise, like he's a heavier Calais Campbell, because Calais Campbell's 6'8", 280, and Walker's weird, because they lined him up all over the place. Nose tackle, 3-tech. They lined him up at edge rusher. And even though, on tape, the athleticism is there. It just didn't test well at the Combine for whatever reason. But, I mean, taking him in like the 4th, 5th round, sky's the limit, babe. It would be absolute ton of fun to see that. Also, ton of fun. Smooth transition. Ton of fun. So, Desmond Watson. So, he definitely blew up because of his pro day at Florida, checking in at 6'6", 464. Now, Watson's probably going to go undrafted, right? Even though 36 reps on the bench, a 25-inch vert, a 5'8", 640, which is the equivalent of like a linebacker running a 3.6, or someone calculated. It's kind of, either way, it's really crazy. But Watson, he's undraftable, right? And even though like he might be the solution to the tush push, just line him up straight up on the center, just like whatever, right? And I think there is some potential there, sure, but picking him up in as a UDFA or maybe even like a 7th round pick, he probably needs to slim down to at least 380 or so. And it's clear that the kid's an athlete, right? But still hasn't really pieced it together consistently. But I don't know, like dart throw, sure. Could be a lot of fun, but if I'm taking a Florida defensive tackle, I'm taking Cameron Jackson. Cam Jackson's a stud. I love Cam Jackson, man. Anyways, also something I love is, hey, Justin friggin' Jefferson at the Wolves game. It never gets old beating Devin Booker's ass. Happens. Hey, Phoenix Suns, sun setting. That's right. But also, what's great too. So these 4 guys in the background just photobombing the Jefferson pick. These guys look like they have a lot of fun. Like, I would hang out with these guys. Just chuck back a couple of beers. Maybe a little, I don't know. But also, they could be in the remake for Super Troopers. That'd be good, man. Littering Ann. I love that. Lastly, Vikings. So, had a little bit of turnover in the strength and conditioning department. They replaced them. Vikings made the additions in 2025 player health and performance staff. Joe Dister Jr., head strength coach, and could be Asian, could be Team Yellow. My continent men. Ben Hawkins, head performance dietitian, as well as Chad Barry, assistant performance coach. Now, if the Vikings, say the Vikings did end up with Desmond Watson, Ben Hawkins would have his hands full. It'd be good either way. Yeah, but either way, hopefully these guys can get that interior offensive line, interior defensive line good to go. Like, maybe that's why the last staff left, even though they were highly regarded as like, oh, we can't get Bradbury to do anything. That's it. So there you go. Anyways, that is it. Vikings news dump on this beautiful, wonderful, glorious Saturday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull Production Valley. Put a little something in the Venmo. Woo.